I have an actual issue with what I'm gonna be really talking about today, and that's the fact that Black lives still matter, no matter what side of the aisle you're on. So let's just really unpack this right now. The term "all lives matter," right, is a protest to our protest. What is that? What is that? What is that truly? Really think about it. We say Black lives matter. We never said only Black lives matter. We say Black lives matter because Black lives are at stake, because Black lives are being targeted by the media, by police, by the systems that are set up in our society. We're not attacking you. You're attacking us by saying all lives matter. What we're basically saying is Black lives matter too. Black lives matter, TOO. That's what we're saying. We're not trying to spit in your face, whoever that may be that I'm speaking to, because I'm not only speaking to Caucasian people. My audience is not just white people. I'm not here to just please white people. I just called white people out on their white privilege. I literally just did. And their white fragility. I'm calling out America. Hey, America, knock, knock, knock. Black lives still matter. They have always mattered. Slavery ended in 1865. It's 2021. That was only 156 years ago. That's one whole and one half lifetime. If someone was alive from 1865 till 1965, and someone was alive from 1965 to 2021, my parent was born in the 1960s. That is how recent slavery was. Slavery wasn't it wasn't 400 years ago that it ended. Slavery, I want you to get this through your brain. I really want you to get this through your mind. Slavery only ended 156 years ago. So no wonder why we still have police brutality. These ideals have been passed down from generation to generation. That's only 3 to 4 lifetimes. That's it. That is it. 1865 to 2021. Do you recognize the scope of that? How recent that was? We sit here and talk about contemporary plays and contemporary works in theater. Contemporary is the 1800s. You can pull a play from the 1800s and call it contemporary in theater. That's how recent slavery was. That is how recent it was. A play from 1820 can be classified as contemporary because of the content in it. So yes, Black lives still matter because they have always been at risk. Me getting in my car or walking down the street or going in a store or getting on a plane, whatever it may be, there is always something set in place that will question my ability to be calm or question my attitude. It has been shown that if a Caucasian person is feeling depressed and anxious, their feelings and ideals and what they are holding on to mentally and struggling with seems to be more important than that of a Black person, or someone who is in the AAPI community, or someone who is Hispanic versus Latino, Latina, Latinx. That's what we're dealing with right now, where we have to appeal and we have to appease and we have to give ourselves over to white people. A specific type of white people as well. And I really wanted to talk about Black lives still mattering because we are a society that is reactive, not proactive. Something bad happens, we all feel the need to fight for it so it doesn't happen again. And then right now in our society, it seems as if everything's going back to normal. No, we're still in a pandemic. 90% of people who are testing positive for COVID in this country right now are people who are not vaccinated. And 20 to 30% of those people got COVID from the brand new variant. And we're in the middle of a race war. However, we couldn't care less because we care about TikTok and Instagram and social media. And we're starting to go back to our jobs and our work life. And it matters about us. And the simple fact is, yes, I'm going to talk about white people right now because they are the dominant race in this country. It took a pandemic for some white people's eyes to open and look up on Amazon books about how not to be racist, how not to give in to their white fragility or white privilege. Black lives still matter, even though you're going back to work, even though you're going back to school, even though the world is returning back to some sort of normalcy. Black lives still matter. We cannot jump up and get all offended and angry and upset at the fact that police are targeting us and so many systems in our government are targeting us when we're in the middle of a pandemic, and then all of a sudden when it ends, all these universities and institutions go back to erasing those DEI conversations. No, we've got to open our eyes and realize what's happening right in front of us. We are reactive, not proactive. Something bad happens and then all of a sudden we're great. Let's be proactive. Let's fight to do something about the world we're living in before something bad happens. Let's fight for women's rights before horrible things have to happen to women in order for people's eyes to be opened. Let's fight against global warming and climate change. Let's fight against these things before something horrible happens and it takes over. Why are we waiting? Why do we sit here? Because we feel entitled. Because for some reason in this country, we're so entitled. We feel as if everything belongs to us and revolves around us. We're so entitled. And we don't recognize, we talk about how America is the greatest country in the world. Are you sure? Are you sure? Because to me, America, the country, the institution, the system is racist. As was brilliantly said by a protester in this heartbreaking video, I can't walk into some of your houses and be treated as not a threat and sit down with your parents, whoever that may be, not only talking about white people, and have a conversation about race without it sounding like I'm the angry black man, or without it sounding like I'm complaining and just don't want to go out and work. Because we sit here and talk about how, if only black people, when they get pulled over, just did what the officer tells them to do and get out of the car. People have done that. They've got out of the car and they were still shot, killed, dead. People have reached over to their dashboards to try and get their registration shot, killed, dead. This is the system we're living in. Because we as black people face that trauma every day and have faced that trauma. It simply breaks my heart that us as a society cannot, and I hate using this word, we let go of something we have a grasp onto when we get bored. We set up months, individualized months for people in marginalized communities to make them feel special. And then when that month is over, we take down the signs, we take down all the icons, we take down all the materials that were used to help celebrate them, and we go back to a whitewashed society. Our history has been whitewashed. We treat slave masters as heroes. And when I say that Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter isn't politics. Stop Asian Hate isn't politics. The women's rights movement isn't politics. The LGBTQIA plus movement isn't politics. These are human rights. But once again, slavery was only 156 years ago. That was it. That was it. That was it. That was it. That's why our society is in the place that it's in right now. Slavery was 1 century, 5 decades, and 6 years ago. Life is long, but that's a short time ago. We fought so hard and we pour so much into ourselves. These microaggressions, this white fragility and white privilege settles into our society. And I truly sit here and I'm thinking to myself, like, well, what is this world? What is this world where I'm shamed and bashed for fighting for my life, fighting for the things I want? I'm shamed and bashed and beaten for truly diving into the human being that I know I am and the respect I know I deserve. Like I said before, Black Lives Matter because Black lives are under attack. If I say anything, blank lives matter, it's because those lives haven't been shown to be important by a system that purposefully decides they don't matter. So when I shout from the rooftops that Black lives still matter, I'm saying it from a place of where I've seen firsthand where a Black person's ideas or a Black person's emotions or feelings or wants and artistry and desire to live has been put under attack by a system I've seen it for myself. You know, after the killings of George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, Vincent Belmonte, Casey Goodson, the list is going on and the list is happening right now, and that's another issue. The media portrays what they want to because it will get them ratings and they'll push a narrative they want. There are websites all online right now. Do a little Google search and find out the Black people that are dying right now, that died last week, that died 2 weeks ago, that the media doesn't purposely cover because they're too busy worrying about what Donald Trump did this time. Want to know why? Is he a bad person? Yes, he's a horrible person. They do it because of ratings and numbers and money. Most of them are white people who pretend to care, to protect their image and to protect who they are. We look at the media, we look at social media, and we can no longer push false, ignorant narratives that actually have no connection to what we're doing. And I've talked about it. Us as Black people, I've talked about it in a simple message to the Black community. We've got to do a better job. However, in the times that we are doing a better job, the system says, nope. The system says, no. The system says, no. And it's sad and disgusting, quite frankly. No matter who it may be that's watching. If you were under attack, you would want people to know that you're under attack. And take a second to do your research. Look at why we shout what we shout. Because it's not political. It's an attack on our lives. Racism isn't out there. It's here. It's in the very ground of this country. In the very ground of this country. Literally, the founding fathers are in the very ground of this country. And as the song says,
oh, freedom, oh, freedom, oh, freedom over me. And before I'll be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free.
Black people, people in the AAPI community, people who are Hispanic or Latino, Latina, Latinx, never underestimate the power of your presence. Because like one of my most adored teachers said, your presence is a present.